Why identical institutions perform differently? Start with a puzzle. Two regions share the same constitution, the same rules, the same formal powers, yet one delivers reliable services and the other stalls. How can design be equal but outcomes diverge? Today we unpack Making Democracy Work: Civic Traditions in Modern Italy by Robert Putnam, Robert Leonardi, and Raffaella Nanetti. Their central question is deceptively simple. What conditions produce strong, accountable, effective public institutions? We will follow their research steps, test their claims, and extract political lessons. But if design is held constant, where exactly should we look for the missing variable that explains performance?
Turn Italy into a laboratory. In 1970, the country created new regional governments with identical constitutional blueprints and identical mandates across 20 regions. By fixing the formal design, the authors could search for the real drivers of performance elsewhere. They tracked responsibility and efficiency using multiple indicators: cabinet stability, punctual budgets, timely service delivery, and even the spread of family clinics. After years of observation, a pattern emerged that design alone could not explain. If institutions look the same on paper but behave differently in practice, what underlying social conditions are doing the hidden work? What civic community means trust, norms, and networks. At the heart of the argument sits the idea of a civic community. In places where people join associations, read newspapers, volunteer, and cooperate beyond family lines, government tends to work better. Robert Putnam calls this bundle social capital: trust, shared norms, and dense networks that lower the cost of coordination. 4 features matter most: active engagement in public affairs, political equality built on horizontal relations rather than vertical dependence, solidarity, tolerance, and mutual trust, and thick webs of associations that connect everyday life to public life. But where do such habits come from, and why do they persist for generations?
History sets trajectories. Northern and central Italy built medieval city republics, guilds, confraternities, and communal self-government. Those horizontal structures taught cooperation and made mutual aid routine. Southern Italy lived longer under monarchical and feudal arrangements that rewarded this vertical loyalty, clientelism, and short-term family advantage. Where the state was weak and horizontal ties were thin, organized crime found space to grow. The striking claim is continuity. Civic traditions proved remarkably stable across centuries. If the past pushes so hard on the present, are societies condemned to repeat themselves, or can institutions and policies bend the curve?
From trust to results, how society shapes state performance. Mechanically, what changes when a community is civic? Coordination gets cheaper, citizens organize, monitor officials, reward responsiveness, and punish opportunism. Public agencies see clearer incentives: deliver on time, treat people fairly, and communicate openly, or face credible accountability. The state and society are not rivals. They are interdependent. Institutions matter most when embedded in habits that make cooperation normal rather than heroic. Yet, a clean story is rarely the full story. If social capital lifts outcomes, what are the limits, blind spots, and risks that any honest account must confront?
Before accepting the model, stress test it. Critics argue that social capital can be conceptually vague and causally loose. How exactly does club membership translate into better policy? Others highlight the dark side. Tight-in groups can exclude outsiders, from organized crime to hyper-partisan machines.
Historians question selective readings of the past and note neglected builders of horizontal ties, including religious organizations. Methodologists warn about ecological fallacies and indicator choices that may not travel well. And a major challenge stands out: the capacity of the state, without credible law enforcement, predictable rules, and professional administration. Even civic networks can be captured. If the diagnosis is mixed, what can leaders and citizens actually build now? Building capacity and community, what to do next? Translate research into moves. First, strengthen state capacity and transparency so people experience rules as real and predictable. Visible credibility invites cooperation. Second, cultivate horizontal networks that cross class, party, and neighborhood lines. Through open councils, citizen juries, participatory forums, and community projects that reward joint problem-solving. Third, align incentives inside public agencies so that responsiveness and integrity are recognized and failure has consequences. This is not culture versus institutions. It is culture with institutions, each reinforcing the other over time. Before we close, what are the 3 conclusions you should carry into policy design and civic life?
Let's sketch our 3 conclusions. First conclusion: durable democracy is more than ballots and statues. It is everyday cooperation. Trust, norms, and networks lower the cost of collective action and raise the ceiling of what public institutions can deliver. Second conclusion: history matters, but it doesn't imprison. Formal reforms can slowly reshape practice when the state is capable and when citizens see tangible benefits from cooperating. And a third conclusion: mind the dark side. The same ties that bind insiders can exclude outsiders. Design must insist on transparency, equal treatment, and enforcement so that networks serve the public rather than capture it. If this breakdown helped you see why some regions deliver and others stall, subscribe and tell me which classic we should analyze next. I'm Gus Perez. This is the State Machine.